Well, hello there. Thank you for joining here. Thank you for joining us here at Coolest Life. My name is Tony, and sorry for the echo in this room, but I tried to find a place that was empty, but I didn't realize this room's going to have quite so much echo. But I think we'll be okay with it because today we'll try to explain to you what York Rite is all about in Masonry. Myself is I'm a Mason, so I'm going to try to give you some background on myself as far as what do I know about this stuff and what's my exposure to it as an organization. I'm going to try to talk to you how it's got a long lineage of history with the Knights Templar, and I'm going to try to walk you through that and see if maybe if you're considerate and you're a Mason, maybe you consider being a member of York Rite and why you might want to join. Maybe why you don't want to join. Maybe pick another organization because there's a lot of organizations within Masonry. So come on and join us because you've just entered the Coolest Life, York Rite edition. So what's my background and credentials? I joined Masonry. I think I was initiated in 2012, and I became a Master Mason in 2013. Went up through the ranks in Masonry, became a president, or what they call a worshipful master. Then joined another, I was a dual member at another lodge, and I went up through the ranks there, and also became a master of the lodge. Excuse me, also known as the worshipful master of that lodge, or the president, I guess you could say, if you want to make a comparison to other organizations. It's basically the president. The worshipful doesn't mean that the people bow down and worship you. It's a title of reverence is all it is. Sometimes in Masonry call people illustrious or eminent, those kind of words. So honorable. So noble is another one for shrine. But anyway, the point is, it's just a position of reverence is all it is. So I then joined the Scottish Rite. I joined the Shrine. I actually joined the Shrine first, and then I joined the Scottish Rite, and then I joined York Rite, which is what we'll talk to you today about. And I'm going to kind of go into the three different areas of York Rite Masonry and show you how they compare and contrast a little bit. I'm going to try to maybe move sideways and give you some pictures of different things in Masonry. But first, I want to turn this video around and let you see my computer screen because I want to go through some details and kind of let you sift through it and show you how it's structured and how it compares and contrasts with the other organizations within Masonry, the other main organizations, which is the Shrine and the Scottish Rite. So here's my computer screen. I hope you can see this. I'm sure you can. We're going to talk about York Rite, and basically there's three main bodies in York Rite. There are a lot of bodies in York Rite. There's a lot of appendant bodies within York Rite, but these are the three main bodies that you would go through. And after you go through these three, you could then join the other ones, which I'll put inside this video, the different groups and stuff. Maybe I'll put it right up here. So you can kind of see those. But basically there is Royal Arch Chapter, which is this first one here. Then there's Council of Royal Select Masters, or also called as Council of Crypic Masons. Depends on which jurisdiction you go to, because you see every state/jurisdiction is just a little different as far as how they do business. There is a national organization known as the Grand Encampment that manages your. I guess Grand Encampment's really for Commandery. Anyway, the point is there are unlike Masons, the Masons, when you have their head body is basically the head guy in the state. So there's nobody higher than the Grand Master of that state. He has a lot of equals in other jurisdictions, but there is no one else he answers to. There's not a national president, unlike York Rite, unlike Scottish Rite, unlike the Shrine. They have a national president. Okay, so national headquarters for the Shrine is down in Tampa, and national headquarters, actually they call it international headquarters for the Shrine. But anyway, the national headquarters for the Scottish Rite is actually broken up into two. There's a northern jurisdiction and a southern jurisdiction. Southern jurisdiction is in DC, which is what I'm a member of. So there are three basic organizations you join. Typically, Now, things can change. You must join this one here in order to go through the others. But you can, some jurisdictions, you can join this first one here, Chapter of Royal Arch Masons, and then go straight to Knights Templar. Some people won't become Knights Templar. Now, these guys, the first guys, they have a particular color. It's purple or red. I can't remember. I think Chapter is red. So anyway, they got a jacket that they wear. And they also wear aprons in most jurisdictions to be a member here. They got a specific apron that's got their logo on it. So they'll get together, say once a month, sometimes once a quarter, depending on the jurisdiction. The next one, Royal Select Master, is kind of the same. I believe theirs is, oh gosh, I hope I get this right. I think Council is purple. So they wear purple jackets, coat and tie for the most part, both of these. And so they'll get together and raise money and do rituals as far as how to open and close a meeting, how to initiate members, those type of things. Commandery is a little different. Commandery is different in a sense that in Commandery it's more formal in that they have uniforms, and I'm talking about military uniforms. They yield. I'll put a picture of one right up in here. They yield the swords, and they got the funny Captain Crunch hat and everything. But they got a big they call it a chapeau, which of course, if you know French, chapeau just means hat in French. But anyway, they definitely call it a chapeau, and they wear it. But it's definitely more militaristic as far as how they carry themselves and how they dress. The difference here is any Master Mason can join. This one here, you must be a Master Mason, but you must be a Christian. You must be a professed Christian. You must believe in the Christian faith, Jesus Christ. If you do not, they do not invite you to join this organization. So you can be any denomination, Methodist, Baptist, Catholic, it doesn't matter, but you must believe in Christ. So that's this one here. So you can't be Jewish or what's the other one? You can't be of Islam faith. You got to be Jesus Christ. So Master Masons, the main organizations within Masonry. So once you become a Master Mason, you can join the Shrine, Scottish Rite, York Rite. As I said, I did. We're going to focus on York Rite here. There's also other organizations, Eastern Star, Grotto, Order of the Amaranth. Order of the Amaranth and Eastern Star are actually ladies' organizations. I say that because ladies can join these, and actually the Eastern Star ladies are still in charge of that meeting. Grand Royal Matron is the top person, so you can't be a guy and be in charge of the Eastern Star. But there traditionally have always been only females, and then here recently, definitely the last 10 years or 20 years, they've gone that direction. Let's see what I did here. I think my computer timed out on me. So we got that. So let's dive into this a little more and talk about the other organizations within these. So once you join these, you can then join other ones. York Rite Sovereign College, also known as just York Rite College. Allied Masonic Degrees, also known as AMD. Red Cross of Constantine, also known as Red Cross. Those are other organizations within. They're honorary organizations. You have the Red Cross. I know you definitely have to be asked to join. You can't just go petition. Typically, a lot of these are hurting for members, so it's pretty easy to get in those. So your Royal Arch chapter, which this one here is this. So your Royal Arch Masons. Okay. So your chapter Royal Arch Masons, you have got, let me zoom this in just a little bit so you can really see that. All right. I can do this. Oh, so you can get initiated in these, and basically they are learning lessons is what these do. So like the Mark Master, you'll go through a ceremony, and they may, if you're the only one there, they may just be you, or if there's a big group that are going through at the same time. Sometimes they'll do these as a state organization. The state organization will say, we're doing a Mark Master degree on such and such day, or should I say we're having people join our chapter of Royal Arch. So come join us, and they'll do all four of these degrees. They'll do this one here, the Virtual Past Master, and they call it Virtual Past Master because you don't necessarily have to be a past master of a Blue Lodge in order to have this. I will say I've never met a York Rite Mason who was not a past master of a lodge. How about that? Yeah. Well, I guess I did know like two, but that's of the probably 200 that I've met. So it's not many. Anyway, so you go through that degree there, then you go to the most excellent master and the Holy Royal Arch. All of these are to build the person, which is what Masonry's primary focus is. It's to improve the lives of a good man. Okay, that's its main focus. It's not to raise money. It's not to get together socially. It's to make a person better. It is not rehab, but it's just to make a person better. So they already need to be a good person. So that's Royal Arch Masons. And then, so the next one down, that's chapter. So then we're going to go to council. Council is, there we go. Council has got its own 3 degrees: Royal Master, Select Master, Super Excellent Master. Again, they are all just going to teach you some truths about yourself, about society, or their lessons learned is what they are. So they kind of, maybe they will act them out. Maybe they will show them on a slideshow. It just depends on the jurisdiction or state that you live in, how they decide to do that. So that they can vary. And then you got Commandery of Knights Templar. So you do the illustrious Order of the Red Cross, Order of the Knights Malta, Order of the Temple, and the Knight Crusade of the Cross. And these are beautiful degrees. If you're a Mason, you know what the degrees can be and how ornate, and especially if you've gone through Scottish Rite, you know people get dressed up in costumes and put these mini plays on. If you're not a Mason, mini plays is the best way you can describe this. So they put these plays on, and they're all about teaching you good moral virtues. Of one of the lines is, "My life you may take, but my integrity never." Okay, so integrity is something that nobody can take from you. You can willingly give it away, but nobody can take it from you without your permission. So. So Knights Templar, that's so they get dressed up in the funny hats. Different jurisdictions have different fundraisers and what they do with their money. And the one that I'm a member of, so Knights Templar, tell you, in our jurisdiction there in Georgia, what we did was we would scour the land basically in our area, and we would try to find a pastor, a Christian pastor, who has not been to Israel. Okay, so we would put together some money and go find a pastor that has that. One, they had to be a stipulation. They had to be the primary pastor in the church. 2, they had to have never been before. And if they or their wife could go, we would pay for their trip to Israel so they could go see the praying wall and everything that there is to go there. So that's something that we did, that we encouraged to do. Now let me break in here real quick and give you some background, or just a little bit about Knights Templar. It's open only to Christian Masons who have been completed the Royal Arch, and in some jurisdictions the cryptic degrees, as I mentioned before. This body is modeled by the historic Knights Templar, who carry on the spirit of the organization throughout history and has been claimed in Freemasonry. Itself was founded by Knights Templar, or that other Knights Templar took refuge in Freemasonry after the persecution. Now, the Grand Encampment of the United States acknowledges the existence of these, of these things here. So no proof or you can justify these claims. So that being said, basically the history of that is a Knights Templar, where they claim to be the first ones to create the banking system, because when they went on their crusades, they go from point A to point B, and because they didn't want to get robbed, so here they are at point B. They had these crusades. They go from point A to point B, and a person can deposit money with the Knights Templar here and withdraw it when they get over here. And all they needed in between was not the money, but they would have a slip of paper, basically a check, cashier's check is what they would do. And so it was the first cashier's check they did in a Knights Templar. So, and of course, the history of all of that was they started making money on interest, and the church didn't like that, because you guys are our guides and our security for this trek on our crusades. So why are you making money? Well, they just did. I mean, they set that up, and they said that's how basically the Knights Templar got disbanded, is because the church felt they were making too much money. And the number one person for that, that was their big cheese, I guess you'd say, in Knights Templar, was Jacques de Molay, which is, there's an organization called the de Molay Boys, which the de Molay Boys are representative of Jacques de Molay, is where they get that from. I always heard the word de Molay and thought, oh, that's demon. No, it's got nothing to do with demon. It just happens to be the guy's name. It's de Molay. So, but anyway, so that's the connection that Knights Templar has with the de Molay Boys. What the other thing that you find that's different in York Rite, or should I say Commandery of Knights Templar, is they get up dressed in the uniforms. And if you've ever been in the military, you know that they have parade. And so parade is they line everybody up, they walk a certain way, they do salutes, and it's all pageantry is what it is. We do the same kind of thing in Templar, the Commandery. We call it, what do we call it? Inspection. So we call it an inspection. Typically, an inspection will happen once a year. One of the main guys in the line will come up and be the inspector. Maybe he's the right eminent grand commander of Masons in that particular of Knights Templar in that state. Maybe he'll be the inspector, and he'll travel around the state. And when they do those, they typically do them on a Saturday morning in most cases. So, and basically it's right face dress, and then they do this with the swords, and you walk under them, and people line up, and then you dress right dress, and the whole works. So it's again, it's militaristic. So people that come in from with the military background that miss that after they get out, they kind of enjoy that. I kind of enjoyed it. I wasn't really in the military. I was in the Air Force, but so. Hey, by the way, the Air Force is the only one that sends their officers to go fight. Think about it. So I was a enlisted guy. So anyway, I digress. I was making fun of the Air Force. I was in the Air Force. I'm okay. So I can make fun of it if I want to. So they basically what they do is you get that kind of flair. You get to wield the sword and everything. We don't have any firearms, anything like that, but we do get to wield the sword. Sometimes you might see them in parades and different places like that. So you'll recognize them as Knights Templar. Their uniforms look a lot like the Knights of Columbus, which has got nothing to do with Masonry. It's a whole separate organization. But they're close. They've got the same kind of hat with the ostrich plume across the top of it. So I'm gonna do another video that's coming up shortly that's going to talk about how they compare and contrast with Shrine and Scottish Rite, and which one you just might be the most interested in. Maybe this can help you to keep from making a mistake, or to join one of them before the next one, because it might be a little better suited to you and the way you live and the way your philosophy is. You might want to do this one here instead of that one, or maybe you want to do them all three, but you might want to focus on one more so than the rest, like I have through my Masonic career. Just things evolve. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to like and subscribe, and send this to your friends that are Masons and non-Masons to kind of dispel some of the beliefs about what York Rite is. And hopefully this helps you on your Masonic journey or your journey through life, that you could say, hey, maybe I want to go join that organization, or hey, maybe I don't. Now, one thing before I close here, I mentioned that we send a pastor to Jerusalem. Other jurisdictions and other chapters might not do that. They might have something else as a philanthropy that they focus on, or the way they would raise money, and it's not raise money. They might do Boston Bud Sales. They might do they might set up a booth at a fair. They might have a gun raffle. There's lots of different ways they raise money, but they'll take that money and either donate it to a foundation and try to get a gold cup. And there's lots of different things they do to raise money, and where they donate it. It's kind of up to them, because you kind of have you don't have to, you're not forced into a particular donation area that you must do. You can kind of decide what you want to do, much like the Blue Lodge is. But I hope this helped, maybe helped you make a decision whether you want to join Masonry or not, or join the York Rite. I enjoy it. Looking forward to getting back involved when I get back into Georgia and we get done with this traveling thing. I got about another 2 years. I'm going to get back with some brothers. I haven't done a lot of traveling. I haven't done a lot of visiting of York Rite since I've been on the road, which has been about 2 years. So, but looking forward to that. So be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on down the road. So I'm just out here living the coolest life, Masonic edition.